cupcakes, custard creams, me old china plates. How the fuck are you guys doing? I am going to be making a video now to explain to you a few different ways that you can shadow work with me, which is kind of like fire walk with me, but different. But I'm still trying to go for that Lynchian vibe. I'm trying to stay on that Lynch flex, you know, very important to me. So I've received an influx of emails regarding the different options for doing shadow work with me, and it has definitely reached that time of year on the Northern Hemisphere where people are thinking about this in greater depth, and I do find that I sell more shadow work readings, and I do more shadow work illumination processes with clients and stuff at this time of year, so it's definitely a time where shadow work for me, in terms of my clientele, in terms of the work that I'm doing, becomes much more significant. And that's not to say that we only do shadow work at this darker time of year, and I know people have definitely made moves to stress that. And it's true, we do shadow work all the time. In fact, one of my earliest shadow work videos was called Shadow Work in the Sunshine, and I'm sitting under a tree talking about shadow work stuff. So, you know, it's for all the time. Shadow work is for all year round, not just for the darker, wetter, colder parts of the year. But certainly we do feel more moved to focus on it in a more consistent way. We are reminded of it, and that's normal, you know, because of that sort of hibernating, spending more time at home. The weather kind of lends itself to being more inward and more introspective, more reflective. I mean, come on, you know, I don't need to spell it out. It's just a time where it tends to come up more as a theme. But of course, we should be able to feel we can access it all year round. And my first video that I made about shadow work on YouTube was a very long time ago. Let's have a look actually at the upload date for the very first video that I made on YouTube about the shadow works. Work myself and have done for a few years now, and I've developed a few techniques of my own. 4th of October, so it was the appropriate time of year. 2012, so a long time ago. And so the very first thing that I want to suggest to you, if you do want to become more intimately acquainted with my thoughts on shadow work, my teachings on shadow work, what I've been saying, is to have a look at the shadow work playlist, where I've collected together for you the key insights and the videos that I've made on the topic here on the channel. I've also blogged about shadow work on and off. I've done some audio files about shadow work, but the bulk of what I've put out on shadow work as a concept is here on YouTube, and you can find it all in the shadow work playlist. So don't be shy, give the playlist a try. Have a look through from the beginning. I start by explaining what shadow work is and a few key ways of doing it, and I've gone on from there. I've talked about things like how to notice projection in shadow work, whether or not shadow work could be seen to be negative or unhealthy. I've talked about the difference between shadow working and light working. I've gone into all kinds of different territory, and there's still so much more that I want to say. There's still so much more that I feel like I'm able to give, so it's going to be exciting to continue on. But I don't like to get too stuck on the one topic at any one time. As you may have noticed, I like to flit around here and there talking about different things, but shadow work is always very close to my heart, and I've really loved talking about it here on the channel since 2012, so it's definitely been a big part of the work that I do. And of course, it's been a part of my my tagline, if you like, on my website for the longest time. For the very, very longest time, my tagline has been self-love, shadow work, and spiritual anarchy. And I still consider those three things to be the three things that I talk about most, that I put forth most as valuable concepts to me, and that I try to teach about and put into my content as much as I possibly can. So there's the very first shadow work video, getting started with shadow work. 26,000 views, published on the 4th of October 2012, and that was the start of a really awesome, really interesting journey. So there's lots to imbibe from me. If you have only just kind of found my channel, or you've not gotten to grips with my shadow work stuff yet, you can go back through the archives and take a look at that stuff. I'm also going to leave one link below to an audio file that I posted over on Soundcloud about shadow work, and the reason I'm leaving that link specifically is because I did notice that when I actually first brought that particular audio file out, it was useful and helpful to a great many people. People did say that they really felt like I went deep on a few things that they needed clarification on. So I'm also going to leave that below as well, and that's available for free download. So if you do like to listen, and you do like to have something maybe on your phone while you go for a walk, or you like to just have something on the speakers while you do chores, then of course you can also just listen to that that. Although my videos are made in a way that can allow you to just listen to them anyway, I'm not really doing a show and tell. I'm not really kind of doing a lot of cutaways in most of my videos. So unless I'm doing an unboxing or something like that, which is more visual and where I am showing you the cards and stuff, most of the time you're going to be able to just listen to any of my videos, right? So have a look at the shadow work playlist and see what you can take from that, what resonates with you, whether or not you find shadow work exciting after listening to some of my ideas on it. I offer spiritual counselling sessions, and I also offer packages of 3 spiritual counselling sessions. And I would say that this is one of the main ways that you can choose to work with me one-on-one when it comes to shadow work, because a lot of the stuff that we get into in a spiritual counselling session can be very much focused on the shadow aspect. If there are things going on that are making you feel uncomfortable, that are unpleasant, that you need to confront, ongoing issues in your life that you've been running away from, we get all of that stuff out on the table during a spiritual counselling session. So I would urge you not to be fooled by the name of the session. My qualification is in spiritual counselling, and so I call the session a spiritual counselling session, but it has a very shadowy feel to it when necessary. We can really dive in to the dark parts of the psyche and together, collaboratively, figure out ways that you can confront that stuff, work with it, integrate it, move past the trouble that it's causing you in your life. So if you do want to talk with me one-on-one and you feel like it is going to be a very shadow work oriented session, then what you want to purchase from me is the spiritual counselling session. And I'm going to leave a link for that and for all of the things that I talk about that you can purchase down below for you. I do my sessions via Skype. So basically what happens is you purchase your spiritual counselling session or your package of 3 sessions, and then you receive a confirmation email from me, and within the confirmation email there is a link which takes you to my schedule, and you can book yourself in there using your time zone. So it's nice and easy peasy lemon squeezy. So it's basically just all done like that for you. You can check your diary, have a look at how it correlates with my diary, and then use your time zone to make your booking. So if you want to talk with me and you want to do shadow work with me, that is really the best option for you. Another thing I want to mention that you can purchase in my online store that will be helpful for you in your shadow work journey is the 29 Shadows video series. The series was launched in February of 2016, and it's just as relevant now as it was then. And basically it offers 29 separate videos offering insights and instructions to help you tackle 29 different popular and pertinent shadow work themes. I look at sex, I look at money, I look at anger, I look at all kinds of different stuff. Basically every single video provides a fresh direction, something new to look at, a different shadow work theme. Lots of people at this point have purchased my 29 Shadows video collection and have said that it has given them lots of food for thought. It is something really meaty to tuck into. You can choose to go through the videos at your own pace. It's totally up to you. All of the private links to the videos are available upon download of the purchase. So really you get your material, you get access to all of these videos as soon as you pay. So it's 29 videos on 29 separate shadow work themes, and then a bonus video which just helps you with getting started and all that good shizzle. So if you do want to make an investment in lots of exclusive video content from me, 29 Shadows is probably going to be, if you are a shadow worker or you want to be a shadow worker, your best bet for something to purchase from my online store that will really help you to explore. It gives you loads of prompts and exercises, techniques, suggestions, and it will really kind of just guide you. If you feel lost as to what to approach in shadow work, if you know something's up but you're not really sure whereabouts in your psyche that shadowy stuff is stored, if you want to have somebody to kind of suggest different things to you rather than have to go out on your own and figure out a way to unpick this stuff, 29 Shadows is for you. So definitely give that your consideration. I also offer a much meatier, much more in-depth counselling package called the Illuminate shadow work sessions, and this is an 8-week experience where we really go through and we really delve into the shadow specifically. So we begin by having a discussion about what you think your shadow terrain is, where you think the issues are, and you explain to me in a lot more depth. We have a secondary session where we interrogate the shadow together and I ask those difficult questions. We have a session which involves a 90-minute reading where we use the cards to really explore how you can move forward and integrate your shadow stuff. There are solo weeks where you kind of go it alone and you integrate the guidance, and there are also some weeks where we have a half-an-hour check check-in as well. So it's designed to be this holistic package which takes you through on the shadow work journey. Do I suggest that all of your shadow work is going to be done and dusted in these 8 weeks and you're never going to need to look at your shadow stuff again? Absolutely not. I think that would be very much false advertising. But what I do think it does is really just lend accountability, structure and inspiration, and also that sense of companionship when you're going through a rocky patch with shadow, or you're deciding to really bust open that door and traverse through the shadowscape. So I've designed it for that, so I'll leave the link to the Illuminate shadow work sessions down below as well. I'm working through the Illuminate sessions with a couple of clients at the moment, and I will say that I do tend to only offer a limited amount. So if you do click down below and you do not see the Illuminate shadow work sessions there, it means that they have sold out for the time being. I don't do this with an unlimited number of clients. I like to make sure that once I've got a certain number of clients on board for the Illuminate sessions, I actually shut that purchase option down until some clients are finished, because I like to really keep my head in the game when it comes to each particular case. I want to make sure I'm not taking on too many clients for that incredibly deep ongoing shadow work. So if you do click and you find that the Illuminate sessions are not available, please do check back and you will find that they will become available once a client or two actually finish their own course, and then I can get back on with allowing other clients to enroll on an Illuminate package with me. I just recently had a conversation with the amazing Joey Morris and Cris Ashburn, and it was called Punishment or Motivation. I would highly recommend watching that discussion. That was a really interesting discussion. I'm hoping to have more discussions about shadow work with Joey and Cris in the future. I really enjoy the way that they are talking about shadow work. I like the way they're tackling the subject. It's really cool. I would definitely recommend their videos and the discussions that they have on both of their separate channels. If you are interested in shadow work content and you want to see more of it, both of them are doing really pertinent things in that area. I'm also going to leave a short and sweet but very useful book list below for you if you would like to do some reading on shadow work. If you would like to have some resources which are useful for understanding shadow work and understanding how to apply it, then I'm going to leave some books below that I feel are accessible, that I've read and that I would recommend to shadow workers. I have a free resource called 25 Heavy Duty Shadow Work Journal Prompts that you can download for free in the free gift section over on my website, and I will leave that below as well, of course. A lot of people have downloaded that, printed it out and started working through it. It does include a lot of free space with lines so that you can write down your responses to each question. I have actually printed it out myself and gone through it myself, and I really enjoyed it. So if you want to try doing journal prompts that I've designed to help you to delve deeply into shadow work, 25 heavy duty shadow work journal prompts is a free resource that I've created that's available over on my website. It does involve some really cute like shadow work style quotes, like quotes that I feel pertain to the shadow work journey in there as well. So it's designed to be useful and it's designed to be a working resource that you can write on, but it does also have some quotes included as well to inspire you. I've noticed that Joey and Cris have recently made a video about misconceptions on shadow work, and I was going to watch it and I started watching the first couple of minutes, and then I thought, wait a minute, let me do an experiment. Let me stop watching this and let me actually go away and write down what I think the top misconceptions about shadow work are, and then I will watch the video and I will see whether or not any or all of them came up. I haven't done that yet. I've written down my list of what I think the misconceptions are from my perspective, but I haven't actually watched their video to see how many of my own I can tick off that were actually mentioned. But I'm definitely going to do that, and then I'm definitely going to make my own video about misconceptions on shadow work. I'm very excited to do that. So I thought that would be an interesting experiment for me, is basically to write down my own list of misconceptions first, and then see how many of them actually made it into Joey and Chris's video, and see if there are any that I can add that were not mentioned in the video as well, and really just kind of riff and shoot the shit on misconceptions about this really interesting concept and practice. The other thing that I've got coming up is talking about shadow work and social responsibility, shadow work and community, shadow work and politics. I want to talk about shadow work beyond the personal. I do feel that shadow work is certainly painted in very much a personal kind of way. It's about the personal journey, it's about the self, it's about self-reflection, self-improvement, self-development, self-discovery, self-awareness. And I do think that we need to also recognise that shadow work, and this is something that Jung was interested in positing himself, can be the way to stop ourselves from committing harm towards others. It can be a way to recognise our discrimination and our biases. It can be a way for us to recognise when we are not taking action to end the mistreatment of others that's going on around us. And this is something that we're not talking about. And I think we need to talk about it, chickens. So I'm going to be making a video about that fairly soon as well. I'm very excited about that. Lastly but not leastly, I wanted to mention that I have Halloween and Samhain readings going on at the time of uploading this video. If you're watching this video at any time that is not the month of October, then just ignore me. But if you're watching this video during October of 2017, or indeed if you're watching this video in a year's time or 2 years' time, it's probably highly likely that I am still, to one extent or another, offering Halloween and Samhain readings because I fucking love doing them. I love doing them. I look forward to them every year. I have 6 Samhain and Halloween options this year, sweethearts. So if you would like a reading from me to coincide with the themes and the energies of Samhain, please pop over to the online store. I'm going to leave the link to that particular area of the store below where you can check out my options for Samhain and Halloween readings. There is a 1-card reading there called the Samhain single dose reading. There is also a crystal ball option there, as well as 4 other really juicy options to complement the themes and the energies of this time of year. And there is one that is dedicated specifically to doing shadow work at Samhain, which is particularly pertinent in keeping with this video and what this video has been all about. So that's it. That's how you can do shadow work with me. That's how you can shadow work with me. That's how you can get to know more of my insights on shadow work, have more of an awareness of what my thoughts are, what I would suggest, etc. There's always something I'm cooking up about shadow work, guys. It's something that I'll return to again and again. I fucking love shadow work. It's really helped me. It's saved my life. It's very interesting to me. And there's loads of different threads, loads of different interesting parts of it. So I have enjoyed being a part of the conversation, and I've enjoyed conversing with other people who are also sincere shadow workers. It's been amazing, and long may it continue. Much shadowy love and self-love, guys. Mwah. Blessed be.